Hey all, today we're going to be working on the rust on the left side of the van. This wheel well through to the front basically. I'm not going to worry about this bit behind the wheel well right this moment because I'm kind of rushing to get this thing through inspection, and that's not rotted through the body, so I can kind of skip that for the moment. But I'm going to try and get this whole side done. So like the other side, this is completely rotted out at the back here. Fortunately, unlike the other side, this is a much simpler structure. So basically, I'm going to be removing the outer skin through here. Most of the inner skin is probably going to be bad, but that's not a big deal. And then I'm going to be cutting away whatever of this is bad. And then I can just plate that in. I'm going to use the piece of the wheel well replacement panel as far forward as that'll go. And then the rocker repair panel, I'm going to start that at its edge at the door and go this way, and then just, cut them off where they meet. But I'm going to go up to just about this curve on the rocker just to make sure I'm well above all this rot and garbage and everything. And on here, while I could probably save this area that's bubbling here, this is just surface rust, I might as well just come in just past it and replace going down so that I know that I've gotten rid of the rot problem there. The back here, which like I said, I'm probably not going to be dealing with right now, is a bit more of a problem because the whole inner structure is bad, which was good on the other side. So where this main rocker meets the door rocker right here, this door rocker is by and large okay. It's got some bubbling up at the front there. I haven't quite decided yet. It's going to kind of be answered when I start cutting stuff up, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to leave this and just replace the bad section, or if I'm going to just replace the whole thing up to where it meets over here. That's, like I said, going to get kind of decided by what I find as I'm hacking into it. So the camera shut off, but it was more just me drilling out spot welds and grinding stuff and cutting things. So you didn't really miss anything interesting. But I'll show you what I worked on. So basically, you saw me cutting away over there. You saw me drilling out all the spot welds along here. And I just continued that and cut this section out as well. You can also see this notch here. This wasn't actually rotted. It's actually slightly weird because this back panel, for how rotted out the front is, this back panel has virtually no rot on it. I've actually done more damage to it getting the spot welds out than the rust over the last 26 years did. When I was cutting the front panel off here, I had the blade at too much of an angle, and I actually gouged the inner panel, and over here I gouged it thick enough that it had very little strength. And I was thinking about stitch welding it back together and seam sealing on the back like I've done in other places where I've gone through, but trying to get the spot welds out of this section turned out to be basically impossible because it had no structure, it had no strength to drill against. So I just cut it out, and I'm just going to weld in a piece of metal there, flush along to basically replace that section, and then attach the new rocker to that. When I come in with the replacement rocker, I'm going to trim the top like I did on the other side, I'm also going to trim over here. There's a little bit more rust I'd like to get at in this corner, so I'm going to be very aggressive as far as how far over I trim, because there's also a drain hole back here that if I go over far enough, that'll make it nice and easy to make everything meet up, because I can get it where the joint is easily. I took this off, the rubber thing here, because I was afraid there might be rust under it, but there wasn't any. So that's good. Most of the screws were rusty though, so I had to destroy several of them and the rubber thing to get it off. So now I'm going to have to carefully grind and drill these screws out to get the holes opened up again, and then I'm going to have to get a new rubber step piece and some stainless steel screws and replace that. I also, since I was over here and I had a grinder, I ground away at this door, and turns out it's a little worse than I thought. It looked like it was just surface rust, but as you can sort of see, it's got some rot through there and there, and then over here it's actually worn down because it's been rubbing on the door opening. I suspect this is a combination of rust and the rubbing wear. I think the rust thinned it out and then it rubbing ground it off. But so I'm going to have to fix this whole door in through here. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to see if I can get the bottom piece of the door and just replace it that way, or whether I'm going to just fix this with plate steel. I haven't decided yet. At the very least, what I'm going to do is come through here with the rust ceiling paint, just paint all of this so that it doesn't get any worse while I'm dealing with everything else, because this isn't a fail point for inspection, so this is something I can put off for till the spring or whatever if I want to. That's where I am with this. I was hoping to get the pieces fitted up today, but my shoulder's killing me from drilling out spot welds. So I think what I'm going to just do is rust treat what I've exposed so that can do its acidy magic overnight. And then I'll come back out here tomorrow and cut and fit the panels. All right, so I've got all of the pieces trimmed up. I've got this piece fitted up. I made a mistake when I was cutting, and this line right here, I cut below where I'd already cut out the old panel. So rather than try and make a filler piece for a very small amount, what I did was cut a chunk off and welded it to the back here, and I'm going to weld the other panel to that, and there'll just be a sort of gap here that I can just use a little bit of filler to take care of, but that'll lock those two panels together. I wish I didn't have to do that, but it was too big to feel confident just filling it with weld, and this will give me a better result anyway. I have the long rocker here cut to fit. The front of it is fit to here. I didn't realize that I'd cut this through, so I'm going to probably put some tacks in from the back just to tack this little flange back in place, but that's not like a structural issue. That's just more of a I feel dumb for not having realized there was a double layer there. And then this piece, show you around. This piece, when I fit it the right way around, fits in there. It's going to need a little fettling in that corner and in this corner just because the stamping isn't super great, but it is close enough to get it in and then tweak it. I still need to fill in here where I had to cut this out as per the other video. As soon as I've cut a piece to fit in here, which I'm not going to bother to film because it's the same as that little repair I made in the back. Once I've got that done, everything in here is going to get appropriate painting and prepping. Like everything that's not being welded on is going to get the rust-proofing paint. Everything that's being welded on is going to get the weld-through primer. I think I'm going to drill out all of these spot welds and just weld everything in from the back. That seemed to work pretty well on the back panel. Or sorry, on the other side. Don't think I'm going to film. Yeah, I'm not going to bother to film that. I don't have a lot of room to work in here. My shoulders are killing me. So I want to do this as quickly as possible. So yeah, I'm just going to drill all these spot welds out completely and then put some paint on this and then come back probably later today and weld this all up. And we're done. This is all welded up. That's all welded up. I haven't created the patch panel for the back there yet, but that's going to be a very quick little thing, and it's going to be the same as the other side, so nothing really exciting. So what I'm going to do now is paint the back of this with some rust sealing paint, as well as trying to get inside here with whatever I think I can get in there with to sort of seal it up. And then tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to seam seal it and undercoat the inside. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.